Hello, everyone. What's up, YouTube? We're working on the candy cane again. Working on the fuel system because the last couple of times I went to the track really wasn't running up to par, and I put a wideband on it and it was really lean, like mid-14s air fuel in fourth gear, which is way too lean. Should be minimum probably low 13s. I'm shooting for high 12s air fuel. So I've left the stock factory lines for the tank up, but I've done my custom fuel system and fuel rails from these connectors here up, and I'll show you around. Sorry it's a little dark, I got a flashlight, but anyway, there's the factory lines that come from the frame right there. I use some Fragola adapters to adapt from the factory line to AN. That's -6 push lock hose and fittings that run up next to the head behind the alternator and up to the regulator. From those lines up here, it goes into the MagnaFuel regulator, and it goes out this side, down under the throttle body, and the lighting sucks, into a T. It crosses over to the other rail below that 10-pin connector. So that feeds in this line right here, and then it shoots over to that rail. So I got the custom black fuel rails. I got the aeromotive. Got the MagnaFuel regulator, Fragola gauge on it. I've got my vacuum line for reference. There's the other fuel rail, and of course I have a phenolic spacer on here now. So it's got a couple of modifications other than the fuel. Nothing else though. So I got the fuel pressure bumped up to factory pressure, about 38, 39 pounds with the vacuum line off. Hopefully it doesn't rain tomorrow. So I wanted to give you a little background on the candy cane and my experience with Mustangs. Back in 1988, I bought a brand new Fox body coupe down in South Florida. It was beige with a tan interior, and at the time 5-speed 5.0 coupes were very hard to come by. There was only two in the state of Florida. One was a blue on blue coupe, one was the beige on tan, and I picked the beige one because I figured, hey, if I beat you with a tan Mustang, it's worse than if you got beat by a black or a red or a white one. So I went with that. Simple bolt-ons, GT40 intake, long tube headers, 373s, pulleys, long tube headers, exhaust. On street tires, the car was running 13.0s, 13.1s, 104. Never really ran it on slicks back then because I wanted to know what it ran in street trim. I eventually moved on to turbo kit. That was in 1990. There was probably only a handful of people in the country running turbos. It was very new. That was a lot of fun. I didn't know what I was doing. Still managed to go 1160s at 121, 122 miles an hour with stock bottom end and cam, a set of Dart Junior heads, and same GT40 intake. I ended up selling that car. Kind of got out of Mustangs for a little while, got sucked back into it, and I ended up with a 91 coupe with a stock short block, TFS twist wedge heads, TFS street intake, stock cam, TKO tranny, and a Turbonetic 72mm turbo. .355s in the back. Street stock suspension, nothing really to it. And at the time I was only running 8th mile up in Shadyside, North Carolina. And I got the car to go 640s at around 108 miles an hour, which would definitely be low 10s, yeah, low 10s, probably not high 9s, low 10s for sure.
Great, fun street car, air conditioning, Cobra brakes, 17-inch wheels in the front. I mean, just a fun street car. Finally slung a rod out of that motor, put a stock motor back in it, and drove it around stock for a while until I couldn't stand stock anymore. I built another turbo kit for it. That time I scored a set of Dart Senior World Products cast iron heads. Again, stock bottom end, stock cam. I ended up with a, man, I don't even remember what intake was on it now. Holy crap. I really don't remember. Maybe it was a Cobra. Oh, it was a Explorer intake. That's right. I was cheap. So I built a turbo kit for it at a Master Power 70. I had my buddy Jake in Power by the Hour build a killer little AODE manual valve body. Again, the car had power steering, power brakes, AC, everything in it. It was not a light car at all. And the only thing that I didn't ever do that I wish I did was put a good converter in it. It had a modified stock 12.5-inch converter, and so getting it to leave on boost was near impossible, even with the trans brake. That car went 1045 at 136 miles an hour on pump gas and methanol injection. Had a blast. I ended up bending a few rods in that motor, never actually blew it up. Took it apart, sold the motor to, actually I gave it to a buddy of mine, and then it went in the dumpster because it was garbage. And then I did the worst thing you can do to a Mustang is I put a 6-liter LS motor in it with a 4L80 transmission and twin Master Power 70s. And at the time I was starting my business, it was a little rough with money and time to try to work on this thing. I had a buddy that had to have it. He wanted to build a Fox body with a LS motor, twin turbo, and I had one, so I sold it. And then I was out of them for years. We had a shop car that we dicked around with a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then I came across this car. It was actually a package deal, 4 cars. 2 ran, 2 were junk. Me and a buddy of mine bought them. We parted out the junk. He sold off the one he got, and I kept the candy cane and just been tinkering with it. So its current state is basically a stock bottom end. It was a Thunderbird motor, so flat top pistons, roller cam, but not HO. So we took the motor out. My buddy John had a set of stock Fords, pistons, and rods from like an 89 car. We slammed them in there. I put a TFS Stage 1 cam in it. It's got stock heads on it that are very mildly ported. It's got stock Cobra intake, unported. It's got a 65 throttle body, Cobra throttle body. It's got short tube headers. It's got a hacked up H-pipe, terrible. 410 gears. I recently put UPR upper and lower control arms on it. Thanks UPR. And with a set of ET streets, so far it's gone 1250s at 107. But again, I'm having a fueling issue. For some reason, the stock regulator is only giving me 34 PSI with the vacuum line off. So it's running lean. You can feel it running down the track. It's just not feeling right. So I had a set of fuel rails laying around for a Fox body, so I threw them on there, and I built a little fuel system with a MagnaFuel regulator. So it's got a Aeromotive in-tank pump in the back, so it's got plenty of pump. So I haven't been to the track since I did the fuel system, but hopefully tomorrow night is track night. If it doesn't rain, looks pretty good out there now, but things change. So we'll see tomorrow. I'll try to get some footage, and hopefully this thing will go somewhere in the 1240s, 108. I'll be happy. And I've got a full UPR front suspension K member control arms, all that jazz. Sitting there waiting, and a set of long tube headers. But I want to get this thing in the 1240s or maybe the 1230s before I do any major modifications. And I also have a secret weapon that I will disclose at a later date. Can't wait to. I'll just be quiet on that right now. You'll see that at some point. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe it, like it, do whatever, hate it, that's fine. I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I have lightened the candy cane up a lot. Well, a lot. It's got no more AC except for the box under the dash is all still there. No AC, no power steering. It's got a manual rack. No back seat, no passenger seat. Right now, with me in it, the car is just under 2,900 pounds. I don't know for sure to scale it to track. Sometimes it works, sometimes doesn't. The last time it worked, it weighed 2,940. I took the stock seat out, which weighed 45 pounds. I put the jazz seat in there, which weighs 15. I took the mufflers off of it. I took the quad shocks off of it. So between the seat and the stuff I took off the car, it's probably about 55, 60 pounds. So I should be under 2,900 pounds now with me in it, and about a quarter tank of gas. So that's where I'm at.